Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Commonwealth lost a legend yesterday with the death of a former governor. And a local community college is adding an essential skills program to train for jobs in high demand.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:32 on September 19th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, it's another foggy start to the morning for sure. So as people are getting up, getting ready for work and school, just once again, they need to be careful out on the roads.
Exactly, and maybe put a light jacket or a sweater or something on this morning because it's a little chilly out there too in some spots. But you're right, the fog is issue number one this morning. We take a look at those visibility numbers, and they're pretty rough out there. A big stretch from Logan all the way down to Jacksboro of basically zero visibility. I witnessed it on my way in. I know Olivia did too. So again, just be extra careful in the Cross-the region this morning, especially in areas where those single-digit numbers or even zero digits there are showing up. 5 miles or less on this map is very dense fog. Now temperatures: 48 Clintwood, Jonesville, and you've got 58 Jackson and Monticello. A lot of the low to mid-50s out there this morning, so a chill in the air, but it is a touch warmer in some places like Jackson and Williamsburg than it was this time yesterday. Most folks a little colder, and then you see Moorhead and Middlesboro exactly where they were this time yesterday morning. Sunshine after the fog. It's going to be another beautiful day out there. Seasonable temperatures in the upper 70s, 77 a forecast high later this afternoon. Olivia?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Former Governor Brewerton C Jones has died. He first served as lieutenant governor from 1987 to 1991. Then Jones became the state's top elected official in the next cycle. Jeremy Toms spoke with his political peers.
Brewerton Jones may have come from West Virginia, which he did, but he became a true Kentucky gentleman.
Brewerton Jones came to the Commonwealth with his wife Libby in the 1970s, establishing Airdrie Stud in Woodford County. By the 80s, he would enter into Kentucky politics with a Democratic primary against Paul Patton.
I don't think there was a negative comment between us and that lieutenant governor's race.
It's all coming together.
It was during that election cycle that Nick Nicholson says Jones made his first breakthrough.
He was a very strong proponent of agriculture and what became Kentucky Proud. He was the first one that I remember talking about, let's be proud of what we produce in Kentucky.
4 years after going toe-to-toe, Jones and Patton ended up side by side in Frankfort.
It was everything he wanted to do, he thought was the best thing for the people of Kentucky.
That included a push for universal health care and changes to ethics laws in the state. After serving in office, Nicholson says he applied himself to the horse industry in the same way.
He saw it from the breeder. He saw it from someone who cared about racing. He saw it from someone who recognized that we needed to do a better job of marketing. He was very dynamic. And so he believed in what he believed in very deeply. And it sold because you could tell he was really sincere.
That was Jeremy Toms reporting. Nicholson added that the good part of Kentucky did not get here without people in the past working very hard to get us here. He says Jones was one of those people. Brewerton Jones was 84 years old. State police are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash in Rockcastle County. Police say Sunday afternoon, a Ford F-150 was traveling north on the I-75 exit 59 ramp near US 25 and failed to yield the right-of-way. The driver hit a motorcycle. The driver of the motorcycle, 62-year-old Barry R. Allen of Berea, was taken to the hospital where he later died. It's not clear if charges will be filed. 2 people are hurt following a shooting police believe stemmed from an incident of road rage. It happened this past Saturday morning on Highway 776 in the Freedom community of Wayne County. When deputies arrived at the scene, they determined 2 cars were involved and both drivers had been shot. One of the drivers was flown to UK hospital with life-threatening injuries, while the other person refused medical treatment. In Rowan County, Moorhead police arrested a man wanted on a warrant Sunday night. During the arrest, they found over 30 grams of suspected methamphetamine and trafficking equipment. 39-year-old James Reynolds was taken to the Rowan County jail. He faces charges related to trafficking a controlled substance. People in parts of Fayette County and central Kentucky are looking for answers after a fire broke out at the Haley Pike waste facility during the weekend. Neighbors complained about both the smoke and the smell. Alexa Minton spoke with local fire officials about the cause and source of the fire and why it took so long to put out.
Over the weekend, a massive fire broke out just off I-64 at the Haley Pike waste facility. It grabbed the community's attention thanks to a large plume of smoke that began to drift over Fayette and Clark counties. While the fire was caused due to waste, it wasn't what you think.
It's still under investigation, but they believe it was spontaneous combustion. Anytime you have mulch and muck and stuff like that, if it gathers into like a few inches or more, if you store it that way, it will generate heat. And over time, it will spontaneously combust.
Mulch fires are a fairly common phenomenon, with Major Miracle saying they make around 100 calls, if not more, in Fayette County per year. The waste treatment facility that caught fire this past weekend was one of the debris drop-off locations from this summer's severe weather damage, allowing the site to accumulate substantial amounts of hay, manure, and branches, and setting it up to be a potential fire risk that culminated in this weekend's damage.
Currently, we have conditions that are just ripe for that. It's been pretty dry, windy conditions, so unfortunately, it was just perfect storm, as they say, for this to occur.
Major Miracle said that well over 100,000 gallons of water were used to put out the fire, and 6 different stations were called in to assist and bring their water tanks.
It doesn't hurt to occasionally go out when you water the yard, just throw a little water on the mulch, and just be careful, rake it, and just check it, stuff like that.
In Fayette County, Alexa Minton, WKYT.
The Lexington Fayette Fire Department also want to remind people to never put out a cigarette on or near mulch, as that could result in a fire as well. One person was brought into custody after he loaded a cart up with items without paying for them in Wayne County. Sunday evening, officers with the Monticello Police Department responded to a shoplifting complaint at the local Walmart. James B. Bell added merchandise into a cart totaling about $137. Bell was arrested and was charged with theft by unlawful taking. He was taken to the Wayne County Detention Center. One Southern Kentucky Police Department is asking for help in looking for a truck involved in a theft. The London Police Department is asking everyone to be on the lookout for a white Chevy Silverado. Officials with the department say the driver is armed with a gun. This truck was last seen on the Hal Rogers Parkway. If you see this truck, police say do not approach it, but to contact the department at 606-878-7004. The U.S. News and World Report has revealed their top rankings for the best colleges in the country, and here is where some Kentucky universities and colleges ranked. The University of Kentucky was ranked 84th among top public schools in the U.S. They were ranked 64th in 2022. Among regional universities in the South, Moorhead State was ranked 45, down from 41st last year. And Alice Lloyd College was ranked 34th among regional colleges in the South, down 13 spots from last year. After receiving a grant of nearly $500,000, one college is looking to provide training to students for high-demand jobs. Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College is adding the Essential Skills Hub program to give students the chance to train for high-demand jobs in the region. The hub will focus on recovery for students anywhere from 15 to 24 years old and provide housing as well.
We aim the purpose of the hub to provide in-demand training for in-demand jobs, and increase the workforce participation in our area was extremely important to us, and increase digital equity.
Grandparents are also able to participate in the program if they are the legal guardian of a student. Johnson says housing for students or participants in the hub will be finished by the end of the year to give students peace of mind when coming out of recovery. Roy Kidd Avenue in downtown Corbin has undergone a big change in traffic pattern. After seeing an increase in traffic incidents last year, the road has turned into a one-way street. Along with changing traffic, the decision has added a number of parking spots. City Manager Marlon Sams says another reason for this change is because of the increase in downtown activity.
Downtown's changing. We have a very thriving downtown. People want to come downtown, and when we have events, there's adequate parking, so that's one reason we went ahead and done it.
Sam says the project has got an overall positive reaction. Coming up, a legendary 90s pop punk band announced a new album with the original members.
And the sunshine warm us up a little bit the next few days as almost summer levels, coasting through the season's final days. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.